My name is Khalid. We live in Karachi. In our family, there is my mother, my father, my elder brother, and a younger sister. We run a milk business. My brother and father stay at the shop all day and return at night, sometimes at 1 a.m. and sometimes at 2 a.m. The atmosphere in our house is very strict. Everyone is afraid of father. He has a strict temperament. I had just given my final FSC exams and was free. Father and my brother told me many times to start coming to the shop, but I had no interest, so I never went. Either I stayed at home or spent time with my friends. When father and my brother left for the shop, the atmosphere at home completely changed and everyone felt relaxed. My sister-in-law would move around without a chapata. It had been 2 years since my brother's marriage and they had no child yet. I used to wake up late in the morning. When I came out of my room, my sister and sister-in-law would be watching TV. Mother would be busy with household work. Sometimes she gave me breakfast herself. I would eat and then leave for my friends. Life was going on like this when suddenly it took such a turn that everything changed. Now I will tell you how it all happened. I used to watch many romantic movies with my friends, but I never really felt like falling in love or proposing to a girl. One day I went to my friend's place, but none of them were home. They had all gone out for some work, so I had to return home. When I entered the house, mother and my sister-in-law were outside in the yard washing clothes in the washing machine. Seeing me, my sister-in-law said, "Khalid, good that you came. Take this bucket of clothes upstairs to the roof and spread them in the sun." I picked up the heavy bucket full of clothes and went upstairs. She followed me. Because of washing the clothes, her dress had become wet. She said, "Khalid, take the clothes out of the bucket and hand them to me. I'll hang them on the line." I started taking out the clothes and giving them to her. She was standing in front of me, hanging the wet clothes on the wire. It was the first time I was doing housework like this, and she was standing so close to me, her wet clothes clinging slightly. While taking out the clothes, a black piece of women's clothing came into my hand. I was looking at it when she suddenly turned back, saw me, snatched it from my hand and said, "Shameless. What are you looking at? Give it to me." She hung it quickly and said, "Take out more clothes." I put my hand back into the bucket, but she turned again and said, "Khalid, go downstairs and bring the rest of the clothes from mother." I took the empty bucket downstairs. Mother was still washing clothes. She looked at me and said, "Khalid, take these upstairs too." I stood beside her. She handed me the bucket and I carried it back up. My sister-in-law was standing near the wall, looking outside toward the ground behind our house. She was so absorbed that she didn't notice me. I quietly stood behind her and looked outside to see what she was watching. Down in the ground, a donkey was standing, and she was looking at it. Just then she realized I was behind her. Turning quickly, she said, "What are you doing? Have you no shame?" I said, "Sorry, sister-in-law. I was just seeing what you were looking at." She said, "Okay, but don't ever do this again, or I'll tell your brother and father." I apologized. She went back to hanging the clothes and then went downstairs. I felt relieved that nothing serious had happened. As I was about to go down, a thought came to my mind. She had left some of her clothes hanging there. I was alone on the roof. I started looking at them curiously when suddenly she came back upstairs and caught me looking. "Khalid, what are you doing?" she said sharply. I quickly put the clothes back and went downstairs. The whole day felt strange. Later my brother called and told me to come to the shop. When I reached, he said that my sister-in-law's father was unwell and I should take her to Saiwal. She belonged to Saiwal. He gave me money to book 2 seats for the next day and told me to drop her there and come back. Because of the heat, he told me to book AC sleeper seats. I went to the station and booked a 2-berth AC cabin, then informed my brother. At home, my youngest sister Kian was watching TV. Mother and sister-in-law had gone to the market. I told Kian about the booking. Mother had told her to serve me food when I returned. After eating, I went to my room. I took out a small bottle of oil from my bag and began massaging my body while sitting on the bed. I was so absorbed that I forgot to lock the door. Suddenly I heard her voice, "Khalid." I opened my eyes and saw my sister-in-law standing at the door, watching me. Embarrassed, I stood up. She said she had just come to ask about the booking. Before leaving, she said softly, "When you do such things, lock the door." Then she closed it and left. I sat on the bed, ashamed, wondering what she must think of me. The next night, around 1 a.m., I woke up thirsty and went to the kitchen for water. I heard footsteps going upstairs and then soft talking. Curious, I went halfway up and realized it was her voice. She was speaking lovingly to someone on the phone. I was shocked. Suddenly she said on the phone, "My work is done. I'm going downstairs." I quickly returned to the kitchen and pretended to drink water. She entered and looked startled seeing me. When I asked, she said she had gone to check the clothes on the roof. The next day we left for Saiwal. My brother dropped us at the station. Our AC cabin was private with 2 berths. After the train started moving, she removed her abaya. She was wearing a pink kurta and looked very beautiful. She caught me staring and smiled. "What happened? What are you looking at?" I said softly, "Nothing. You look very beautiful." She sat beside me and teasingly said, "Since I removed the abaya, you've been looking at me as if for the first time." The train suddenly changed tracks and she stumbled, falling onto me. I held her. For a moment we were very close, the train running at full speed. She laughed nervously and said, "Thank God the cold drink didn't spill." I poured cold drink into disposable cups and handed one to her. The heat of the day, the privacy of the cabin, and her playful glances made the atmosphere romantic and intense. She looked into my eyes and said, "Promise me you will always care for me like this." I said, "I promise. You will never feel a lack of love from me." We kept talking, teasing, smiling, and finished the whole bottle of cold drink. The train slowed near a station and we separated slightly, but the warmth between us remained. At one stop, she sweetly asked me to complain that the AC wasn't cooling properly and to bring something to eat. She handed me money. I arranged burgers, finger chips, milk tea, and pure milk for myself. When I returned, she was happy. The AC was fixed. We fed each other chips playfully and sipped tea from the same mugs, laughing softly. She said, "I have traveled by train many times, before and after marriage, but I have never enjoyed a journey like this. You are a wonderful companion." Her words touched my heart. We talked about love and life and eventually lay down on the same berth, close yet silent, feeling each other's presence. By morning the train was about to reach Saiwal. We freshened up and prepared to get down. From the station we took a taxi to her house. She had already informed her mother. When we entered the Haveli, her mother hugged her warmly and then embraced me too, even kissing my forehead. I was surprised by her openness. She was fair and graceful, much like my sister-in-law. We went to her father's room, greeted him, and gave him prayers from our family. After some time, her mother said kindly, "First, freshen up and wash away the tiredness of the journey. I will arrange the meal." And that was how our journey to Saiwal began, with unspoken feelings, hidden secrets, and a romance that was slowly deepening between us.